Okay, so again, to get at a database, from a web page, the first thing we need to have is the database, and we'll make one in Access here. And I'm going to open up one that we already have. Okay, so I'm going to actually make a new table in an existing database. And if you need help creating your database, again, let me know. I'll help you as long as it's not too complex. But I'm going to make a new table, and I'm going to call. I'm going to go to Design View, and we'll call this Multimedia Jobs. And then again, we'll have a primary key. What do we say? The job description would be text. There'd be a contact, and there'd be a start date. And we'll make this of type date and time, and would have a salary. We'll make the salary a number. And then we'll go ahead and say, let's actually put a little bit of data in here to start with. And so the description will be graphics designer, start date, and salary. Oh, it has to be a number, so I think whatever. And let's put one other one in. Okay, so the other trick is when we save this database, we need to save it in a particular place so we can get at it from our project. And to do that, we'll go to Save Database As. And the place we want to put it is in our project, wherever your project is. You want this app data folder, and you want to make sure and save it inside app data. So you create the database, you put it there, and then what you might have to do is go back to your project, open it up. If you don't have this app data folder, go ahead and create it. And again, to create it, you right click on the project, add the ASP.NET folder, and get the, I don't see it on here because I already got one, but you'd see app data on here. It's a special folder, so just make the app data folder. Then go to the app data folder, add the existing item. The database is there, but you notice we don't see it. So I'll add this jobs one, the one I created and stuck there. So it's the same problem we had with the images, right? They're there, we're just not seeing it. Okay, so now I have it in here. Now to get at the data in this folder, or I'm sorry, to get the data in the database, well, I want a page to display this. So I've already got one made over here, a jobs page. So I'm going to open up this jobs page, come in here, position my cursor where I want the table to end up being displayed. And then I got a choice here. I can double click this jobs database, or I could just switch to the Database Explorer. And you notice it did that for me. So watch over here. I went from Solution Explorer to Database Explorer. And then I'm going to expand the tables in this database until I see the 4 tables are in that database. I want the Multimedia Jobs table. I'm going to grab that guy and drag him over here. And here's the problem again. I don't know why this version of Visual Web Developer 2010 doesn't seem to want to do it the first time. But if I switch to Design View and then drag it over, then it drops it in. And if I'm in Design View and I try it, it doesn't work until I switch to Source View. It's like I have to switch views to make it go in there. I'm also going to come back here then back to my source view and check, and it dropped a couple controls in here, and we'll come back and look at these in a second, but it dropped them inside of an H2 tag. So the one thing I'm going to do to clean up is fix my H2 close tag so this grid view is on the outside of it. But what that did for us, notice dragging that thing over, it gave us two controls. It gave us this something called a grid view control, and it gave us this access data source control. So it gave us these two things, and we'll talk about those in detail, what those are. But really, adding the database interface is about as simple as this. To test this, the one thing I want to make sure is that I'm all the way out of Access, because again, Access is a single user database. So if I still have the database open in Access, I think it looks like I closed it, then we'd get this lock error. Let's say you can't get to your data, it's locked up. Okay, so to test this out, I'm just going to start it up, and we'll look and see. Oh, and here we go again. Okay, with this path thing, which is good, get this path error. So to fix this, again, what I'm going to do is go to the source code and look here in the access data source. And this problem is the same problem we're having with the images and some of the other things. It says, look in a file called app data for a database called jobs1. But if you notice over here, if we look in Solution Explorer, I'm in a folder called multimedia, and multimedia does not have a subfolder called apps data. So to tell them, hey, I'm not looking for a folder under multimedia, I'm looking for a folder under my project, what I do is come out here and put a tilde and a slash, and you notice the slash is going backwards from where we expect it to go. It's okay. Things will get flipped around. The server actually takes either slash and flips it around the correct way. Yeah, the tilde slash says go to the parent file, then look for a folder called app data, and then look for a folder or a database called jobs1. So if we try to run this now it runs, and we can actually see the data in here without we're talking to the database. We're getting the data. Okay, so again, for setting this up, you need a database, and again, I'll help you create that if you need help with it. It needs to be in the particular place. It needs in this app_data folder. And then the simplest way to get at it is to drop a grid view on. And to get the grid view, again, the easiest way is to just open up the database, find the table, and drag that onto your project or onto your web form. And there you go. And then I guess the last thing is we need to patch up. It's in the data source. We need to patch this data file path. Okay, so let me turn the